Hi, my name is Mike and welcome to this video. Today we're going to code a navigation bar, and here's the demonstration of the bar itself. This is my browser. I'm using Google Chrome, and effectively there's 5 links along the top. One says home page, services, extras, about and contact, but our nav bar today is going to be responsive. So if I close the browser, you get this little hamburger, and in the top right hand corner we click that and then our links appear. So how nice is that? And you click it again and the navigation disappears. So that's what we're going to code, and we'll see how this goes. On the left hand side, and I'll just bring it out a bit, I have got VS Code as my text editor today, and as I say, Google Chrome on the right hand side. So first things first, what I'm going to do is create a nav area. And the good thing with VS Code is effectively it does the typing for you. You just have to put a couple of the letters in. So I'm going to give our nav area a class. That's not a good start, is it? Class equals, and I'm just going to call it, I don't know, my nav. So that'll do us for now. And of course, when I sort of opened the nav bracket, it also closed that bracket as well. Also, what I'm going to do is give this an ID. I'm going to call it navigation. There we go. And inside the nav, I'm going to create 5 links. So with I just type in the A, then tab, and it comes up with the right thing. So I'm going to copy that and create 5 links just like that, all within the nav area. So each one of these, I'll call this one not home but home, then services. So you can just imagine this, you're creating a website for your customers, what services you provide, what about the extras, what about you, and how they can contact you. So there's 5 links. What I'm going to do is hit save, and great thing with VS Code is you also can open it up with your own server. So effectively I've right-clicked open with server, and here in Google Chrome, I'll just go big for you. You can see the 5 links that we've created already. So that's nice. Now what I'm going to do is just create one more link, but it's going to be outside the nav area. Okay, so I'm clicking A and tab, and I'm going to give it a hashtag so the link's not going to go anywhere, and I'm going to give this one an ID of nav icon. And what we'll do later is, whoopsie-daisy, nav icon, and you'll notice I'm using camel case, so it's small N, big I. And that's it for now. What I haven't done with these other links, and what I'm going to do is put the octothorpe or the hashtag in there. There we go, and I'm going to hit save. And really, that's all I need at this stage for the navigation. So this is purely HTML, and if you've looked at my HTML videos before, you'll just see that it provides the structure of the page, nothing else, no colors, no spacing or anything. And that's up to the CSS to do that. So let's consider the CSS now. So within the head area, I'm going to create a link to what will be a CSS file, and I'm going to call it the same navdemo.css. So link rel style sheet, href nav demo css. Now I haven't created that yet, so I'm going to create another document called nav demo CSS, and just going to put it in the same file. So nav demo CSS, and we've linked it across here. So let's just make sure it's linked. So let's go body. Let's just make sure that this is working okay. Let's go for a blue violet body, hit save, and I'm going to refresh, and that hasn't worked. Body background color, have I saved that one as well? There you go. And the body background has gone that purple color. So that's all looking nice, but of course I don't want a purple color at all, so hit save. Right, and you'll notice each time I hit save, the browser sort of refreshes itself, which is good. So let's think of what we want. We want a font family, because otherwise we get that horrible Times New Roman. So I'm going to go Arial, Helvetica, and Sans Serif. And following that, I'm going to give it a basic font size, and let's go 16 pixels. And if I hit save and refresh, you can see we've got Arial. The font has gone bigger, but it's all sort of blue and underlined at the moment. So we can fix that. Let's see what class we gave those links. Nav class, my nav. So that's the next part of CSS that we want to do. So if it's a class, we use dot, and it was my nav. And what can we do with this? Well, let's give them a background color first. Let's go, I think I used black previously, so we'll use that. And you know, black's nice for navigation. I think Apple use it and a lot of other websites. So it's Octothorpe or #000, and that's all you need for the background. Let's give the nav a bit of a height, and that's height : 60. Let's go for 60 pixels and see what that looks like. Save, and we can see our nav bar now. With the class of my nav, it's fixed in height at 60 pixels, but we've still got the sort of home links and whatnot all showing blue and underlined, which is pretty damned ugly. Anyway, so you have a look at it sort of close at the top of the browser. Okay, so I just zoomed in big. So you've got this gap at the top and on the left. So I just want to get rid of that. And what I'm going to do is come up to my nav and give the whole thing in fact, no, it's not my nav. Let's go up to the body, and I'm going to give it a margin of 0 and 0. Save, and there we can see everything's up to the left and everything's up to the top, so that's nice. So what about these links? So the next thing I'd like to do is I'm going to create a comment here so that you can see what's going on. And the links in the nav. Okay, so we know what this bit of code is. So I'm going to go my nav and then A for the links or the anchor tags. Okay, so got my nav A. Let's change the color. I don't want blue, so let's give it a color of white, which is FFF. And if I just save now, I said FFF, but only type 2. So if I save now, you can see that the links have turned white. But you've got this horrible underline, so we don't want that. And let's go text decoration. Oops, let's do that again. Text decoration is none. And let's go text align center. And save and see how it looks. Okay, so that underline is gone, so that's okay. Now, what I'm going to do is give each one some padding. So hopefully you've seen my previous CSS on the box model. So first I'm going to give it some top and bottom padding, so you can see. In fact, if I just zoom out for you, effectively we've got left and right padding there, but I want that as the top, and let's give it a bigger left and right. So I'm going to go 3 rem save, so you can see what's happening here. If I just come out, the links are nicely spaced out, and that's with the 3 rem. In fact, what you might want to go is 2.5 to bring them in a bit. Okay, so there we go. Right, so what's next? What I'd like to do is add, when you sort of put the cursor over, I'm going to add a pointer. And I think the last thing is I just want each of these buttons to float on the left hand side. Oops, all right, if I can type. Okay. So there we go. Because I've given it a float left, those links have come down a bit. So if I just zoom in, and if I hover over one, see what happens with the arrow there. You can see it's got a little pointer there, and here's the arrow. Oh, here's the pointer. Okay, so that's working nice on those links. So that's navigation. Now, of course, it's sort of the only thing that has changed so far is the little hand over the link. So what if we have a hover facility? Let's go my nav, and within my nav I've chosen the anchor, and then if we hover over that anchor, let's give it some feature. So let's call it. Oops. Let's give it a background. Let's change the background color. Background color, and I think what I'll do is I'll give it a blue. There's a thing in there. It's called Badass. I think it's BAD 455. Now it's a green color. I'll tell you what. I'm going to go Dodger Blue because I like that color. There you go, Dodger Blue. I'm going to hit save, go back to the browser. Whoops, and those are all popped out. So if I hover now over those links, they're doing that because I've gone too big on the browser. So let's go small to what it would be. So there we go. So now what I'm doing is hovering over those links, and you got that blue background coming onto the screen, which is awesome. Okay, so let's consider what we want to happen when that screen goes small. I'm just going to write a couple of notes here. So when the screen goes small, we want those links to disappear, and we want the icon to appear, and then we want to be able to click on the icon to see the links. Click on the icon to see links. Okay, so that's the sort of stuff we want to do. So let's consider the icon first disappearing. Okay, so what we should be using is a media query. Media screen and max width, I'm going to call it. You can use min width, but max width, I'm going to call that 600 pixels. And what do we want to happen? So in fact what we could do is get all this nav icon stuff from the top and cut that and pop it in, because it's only going to appear when the screen is small, because we've got nav icon displaying none at the top. So that's good. And the next thing is, so that will make the icon appear. And the next thing, we want the links to disappear. So the links were in the nav area that we gave a class of myNav, then the A for the anchor, and to hide them, just like we did above with the icon, display none. So I'm going to save that, go to the browser and see what happens when we go small. Okay, so you can see the links at the top. I'm going smaller, and there they've disappeared and the hamburgers appear. Let's just do that again for you. There. Okay, so that's, you can see the 600 pixel width point there. So that's pretty neat. Okay. So now I think what we need to do is just consider how we are going to make that clickable so that something happens. Okay, and in my very first video on coding, I explained what the three codes do: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And what I was describing was HTML provides the skeleton of a web page, CSS colors it in and provides spacing and the rest. And JavaScript, and I haven't done any videos on JavaScript yet, but JavaScript makes things happen. Okay, so I think what we need to do now is go back to our thinking on the original page. So effectively here, this is the nav area, and what we need to do is add a second class to it, but only when that button is clicked. Okay, so this is the responsive part, if you like. So I think what we'll do next is add a class called response. So let's go myNav, dot myNav, and then let's give it a class called respond. And this is the only place we're going to do it, on the anchor tags. Okay, and we'll go float none. Now we want it to appear. Okay, so display block instead of display none. We'll have the text in the center. So text align center. Don't forget the American spelling if you're a Brit. And let's give it a background color of something different than black. Background color. Let's go, I don't know, Octothought 2020. It's an off black. Okay. And then we can give it, what color did we do? Oh, I know. Here we go, background color. I'll just copy that. We'll give it that Dodger blue look as well. So, myNav. You saw me do that. Dot respond. A hover. And background color, Dodger blue. I'm going to hit save, see what happens. And nothing at all, because we haven't added any JavaScript. Now, I haven't created any JavaScript videos previously, so just follow me through on this and I'll try to explain what's going on. So, over on the left-hand side, I'm creating a I'll call it navdemo.js for JavaScript, and I've got my blank JavaScript file. I'm coming back to the HTML, and just above the body, what I'm going to do is type script. Let's do that again. script with its source, and what did I call it? navdemo.js. Okay, so navdemo.js. Here's my blank navdemo.js, and first I'm going to make sure that it's connected. The two files are connected. So I've given it an alert, and I'm going to hit save, come over, and it's not connected. So navdemo.js, save. Then you can see in the browser I've got this pop-up saying connected, so I know that the files are now connected. So I'll get rid of that because I don't want that pop-up keep coming up each time. So first thing I need to do is grab on to effectively the nav bar, and then I need to grab on grab the hamburger item. Okay, right. As I said, just follow me through. I'm creating a variable called the nav bars, and I'm using the get element by ID, and I want to have a look at the nav bar, and I gave it an ID of navigation. So navigation, and that's all I need to do for there. So the next thing, I'll create a variable. I'll call it hamburger equals, again, document, and get element by ID again. And what did I call it? Back to the document, find the ID of the hamburger. I called it nav icon. Like so. And what we want to do with that hamburger icon, because I'm going to click on it at some stage, or you're expecting a user to click on it, we're going to add an event listener, and we're going to listen for the click, and then we want something to happen. So I'm going to say toggle the nav bar. I like to give these things a meaningful name. Okay, so because I've created the variable hamburger, and it's grabbing onto the ID of nav icon in the HTML, now I've said on the hamburger, listen for the click, and then do this, toggle the nav bar. Okay, so let's write the function that will make that click do something. So let's call it toggle the nav bar function arrow. So if I'm going to use an if statement here, so if it is something is true, it's going to work. If the nav bars have a class name equals to my nav, then what I want to happen is the nav bars have another class to be added, so class list dot add, and what did we call it in the CSS? I think we called it, there we go, respond. So I want to add respond. Okay, and if that doesn't work, else, oh, looks like I've got one thing too many. Sort that out in a moment. doesn't have class name equals that my navbars dot class name equals my nav. Okay, that should do it. So I'm going to hit save. So as I said, you don't really need to understand what on earth is going on because I haven't shown you what JavaScript is. But effectively, in the top line, I created a variable and effectively told it to grab onto the ID of navigation in the HTML. Then there was another variable I called hamburger, and that's grabbing onto the ID of nav icon in the HTML. And then I went to the hamburger icon, added an event listener to listen for a click, and when it's clicked, do the toggle the nav bar. And then I created this function here saying, effectively, when the click happens, do this. So it's looking for the nav bars have got a class name equal to my nav. And if they do, then add another class called respond. But if they don't, and that's the else, the nav bars only have a class name equals my nav. And that's it. So I've hit save. I've hit save on everything. And let's see what happens. Okay. So there's our links, dodger blue in the background. Now I'm going to bring down the size to about 600. There we go. And I'm going to click on the nav burger. What I was expecting to happen didn't. So I've left the code as it is, okay, and I'll just come over to the browser, hit the burger, and nothing has happened. And this is the beauty of JavaScript, because one error can stop everything working. So I'll just show you, because you've got to get into JavaScript at some stage. I've right-clicked, I've hit inspect, and here in the console, you can see, let's just go a bit bigger for you, I've got errors. It's given me 6 red crosses, and the navbar's class name add is not a function. Okay, so I've spotted what the error is, because I can't add a class name. What I need to do is add a class list and hit save. So I'll come back and you can see that those errors have disappeared, which is great. Now if I click the hamburger icon, hey, you can see the links have appeared. When you hover over them, they go dodger blue. If I click the icon, it goes back. And then if I open the screen, then your links come back. And that's it. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that. That was fun for me. I might do another one of these soon. Cheers now. Bye-bye.